So this is from Discussing Film. Netflix executives tell screenwriters to have characters announce what they are doing so that viewers who have a program on in the background can follow along. So a lot of people now, when they watch films, it's more like background. The American attention, and I'm guilty of doing this too. There's a lot of times I'll be watching the TV show and then I pick up my phone and I start scrolling because it's just built in, right? We've been trained essentially to do this. And so it's not too much of a shock that that this is what they have us doing. But the whole idea behind this is Netflix knows you're doing this. Shocking, right? They even call it casual viewing, meaning they know it's slop. They know the writing is bad. They know that's why movies now look cheap, because they know you're going to turn it on, you're going to watch it for about 5 minutes, and then you're going to go to your phone or you're going to clean your house or do your dishes or walk around. And so you're not paying attention to the film. So there's a lot more exposition that is being dumped on you because they know you're not paying attention. And they know that they don't need to work as hard, honestly, to have creative shots, to have nice costumes, to have nice sets. That's why you could just go green screen on everything, because they realize you're going to look at it every once in a while and just be like, oh, okay, she's walking through a door. Or she's at the park because she said, oh, look, I'm at the park now. So it's funny that we are going back to more of a time where people used to listen to, stories and movies and things like that on the radio. You would turn on the radio and you'd read the paper, or you did while they were, doing the radio theater. Except now we have added visuals in the background. We have the pictures moving on in the background. Yeah, I don't have the focus of that. I don't have the focus of that. I multitask way too much. It's probably my ADD brain. I got to get more stuff done at once, but yeah, Netflix has told you this, and I wouldn't doubt that Paramount and Amazon, they all have this all the same. They realize, hey, if they're streaming, 9 out of 10 times they're probably talking with their significant other. Netflix has an entirely different category, which I'm not going to get into because it's more of a family show, but I'm pretty sure y'all know what I'm talking about. That people aren't paying attention to these things. It's essentially background noise. And that's all streaming has done. And it has destroyed the genre of film, because films are not made to sit down and be watched in a movie theater that you have to pay attention to. They're made to be put on in the background. They're made to be put on a screen somewhere in your house, on your iPad, on your phone, whatever the case may be. So you can just have noise. So what do? I don't do that. I usually find a good lo-fi channel on YouTube if I'm doing like work around the house, and I'll just put on lo-fi. So I'm just as bad. I'm part of the problem, but at least I'll tell you that I don't ever come from never condescend. But there's some good lo-fi channels out there for stuff like that. But yes, in case you were wondering why movies look like crap and why movies tend to over-explain things now, newer films, obviously, they tend to over-explain things now, and everything kind of looks cheap and rushed. And they don't put they did it because 9 out of 10 times people aren't paying attention to them. People aren't paying attention to them, and they don't even care if it's good or not, because if it's crap, then they can be like, oh man, this thing was awful. Did you watch it? Yeah, no, not really. I was kind of scrolling on my phone in the meantime. But that's what you get. And they've trained us. Let's just be real. They've trained us in a way that has made it easier for them to put out a cheaper product to maximize their profits on the back end, while you have lost your ability to focus, as we said, because you're too busy doing different things throughout the whole show. And most of the time, people don't even finish it. They'll start a show, they'll watch halfway through, and then they just turn it off. And then they go do something else, or they take a nap, or they do whatever they can. The idea of focus and the idea of being able to concentrate on one task at a time has just been completely lost. And as long as we are in the current lifestyle that we are in, I don't know if we'll get it back. I mean, there's the joke out there that it takes 45 minutes for you to watch a show that you just, you get your dinner, you sit down and you find a movie and you watch as long as you're eating your dinner. And as soon as you're done eating your dinner, you turn it off and you go do something else. And like I said, I'm guilty of it too. If I'm doing work or something like that, I'll put on a lo-fi channel. There's a lot of lo-fi stuff out there. A lot of those. That's one of the few things I like about YouTube is that they have those lo-fi channels that you can kind of just put on. So at least I'm not trying to watch something. I can always just listen to something. But yes, if you were wondering why it seems like that, it's because they have Netflix at least has thousands of micro genres, including casual viewing, which is used for TV and movies that go down best when you're not paying attention. So they want you on the platform and they want you streaming, and they're like, hey, put this terrible film on in the background while you do the rest of the work. We don't mind, just as long as you're using ours.